Welcome to this next video where I'll show you the tools that moderators can use to run an effective meeting. And so, as always, you begin at the Prtanium landing page, prtanium.io. And in this case, you've been invited to be a moderator, or perhaps you've set up a meeting yourself, and you're going to be part of the team that's running the meeting. And so to do that, you'll first press login. And again, you log in using either your Prtanium credentials or log in through Google. And once you log in, you'll see in your dashboard some events that you've been given you've been upgraded to be a moderator to help moderate the event. So we'll press this button here to run this event that's coming up. And the first thing you do, obviously, to start an event is you press Start Event. And so I'm going to press Start Event here, which of course you only do once you're ready for the actual event to begin. And then you press Confirm. And what happens is the users are staggered to enter the event over 30 seconds. And that's just because if you have like 1,000 people waiting to join the event, they don't all join and crash in all at the same time and crash the system. So we just have that set up that way. And so the other thing I'll point out quickly is that, as I mentioned in the previous video, we typically would run the streaming through a Google Meet for the live streaming, but since this is a demo, I'm just using an archived video up here just as a placeholder. Okay, and so right away on the left-hand side, you can see that there's some tools. You can see the listing of participants. So I'm here with the check mark indicates that I'm one of I'm part of the moderation team. This is just another account I'm logged into now on a separate browser. That's just a dummy account. But obviously if you had 100 people in the event, you'd see all 100 people listed right here. And through this participant list, you can direct message participants. You can mute them if a participant becomes abusive, right? If that person's abusive, you can mute them. But they might direct message you, kind of appealing that there's a direct message feature. So participants can send direct messages to, and you can respond directly to participants in this tabbed area over here. And so if they successfully appeal to be unmuted, then you can unmute them again. Another tool over here is that you can broadcast messages. And so if you send a broadcast message before the event begins, it goes off to the pre-event page where people are waiting. And if you broadcast a message during the event, there would just be everybody would get a notification that there's something that you needed to alert them to. Okay, and so there's two basic ways that participants can share their thoughts in real time during a meeting. There's the kind of question and comment queue that they can populate, which I'll go over first, and then I'll show you later that we have something called a response feedback feature that enables them to provide good qualitative answers to survey questions. Okay, so first for the question and comment feature, as you saw in the previous video, when you learned how to set up a meeting, you saw that you were able to set topics that are relevant to the discussion. And so as participants submit questions and comments during the session, the AI tags those comments based on their match with the description of the topic. So some are on stigma, some are on prevention, and so on. And so you can, as a moderator, you can filter down to see, what people are saying about some topic like stigma, or what are they saying about prevention. And so if there was a lot of content here, that would be a way for you to kind of focus your attention and really drill down into what people are saying about prevention or about stigma. And then once you've filtered on a topic, you get kind of a workspace area relevant to that topic. So here's the prevention workspace area. And so if we've decided that this is a really good question, right, there might be a lot of questions on prevention here, and this might be the best one. And so we can add that to the workspace. Then we could, as we add questions to this workspace, then that would kind of populate a set of questions that are of interest to the meeting on the topic of prevention. right? And you could do the same for Stigma, right? You could add all of the questions that are relevant to Stigma to the Stigma workspace. And then once you're ready and you're ready to tackle the topic of Stigma, you can decide which questions you want to submit to the speaker to have the speaker respond to. And so to do that, you would move questions from the workspace area to the on deck area. So to do that, you would just kind of drag and drop the question, and then you would already have a sequence of questions in the on deck area here. And so you can just drag and drop. I can do it, drag and drop to decide on the order, right, of the questions that you're going to pose to the speaker. And then once you're ready, you press this arrow up here to move the next question up into the event. And then that question ends up here, and then that's the question that you get to ask the speaker, and all the audience members know that that's the question that you're asking. So you can see there's kind of a left to right flow for the question and answer curation. As I mentioned, the other way to solicit input from the audience is through our real-time polling feature that we call response feedback polling. And there's 3 different types of polling options that we have in Pertanium. So you could construct just open-ended polling questions. You can construct policy questions that people can vote for, against, or indicate they're conflicted. Or you could just more generally create multiple choice questions to distribute to the audience members. And then what's important when we do polling in Pertanium is we don't just ask them to choose which choice they like the best, but we also optionally let you choose to include a text box where they can explain their reasoning for why they liked the choice that they chose, right? And you can make the reasoning text box required, optional, or disabled. If it's required, then they would have to type in some reasoning in order to be able to submit their response, right? And if it's optional, they don't have to. And obviously, if it's disabled, the text box doesn't even appear. And so you could require reasoning. And as I mentioned in the previous video, if people give reasons that are off topic, then they won't be included right in the summary of results. But if they include reasoning that's on topic, then that's going to end up being summarized in the results that we share back with the participants. And so here I've created one multiple choice question, which is, what is the best way to increase mental health services for high school students? And we're going to say that I've already prompted the audience with this, and I've already closed the poll, and I can view the responses. And so the first thing to notice is that I can share just the sheer distribution of results with the distribution of preferences with the participants. So in this case, right, the majority preferred the option to add mental health training to teacher professional development. But there was some support for each of the 4 different options. As a moderator, I can look at the raw responses from participants. And then finally, what I can do is once I've closed the polls, I can press this generate viewpoints, and our AI will then do abstractive summarization of the raw responses and shares the summaries of the perspectives of the reasons that people have for supporting each of the different options. And so here, right, there's only a few responses. So in this case, we've augmented those just to kind of, as part of the demo, just to show what it looks like if you had a large audience that was sharing lots of perspectives. But you can see what happens is when we share these responses back with participants, they not only get to see, right, what option was the most popular, but they get to see the reasoning that they and their fellow audience members have to support each of the different options, right? So even if they preferred add mental health training to teacher professional development, they would likely see their own perspective reflected in the reasons that were provided. But more importantly, they get to see the reasons why other people think the other options are best, right? So if they really originally disagreed with the do nothing support is currently provided as adequate response, they at least would get to see, well, why is it that people think that that's a good response? And that helps to get people out of their echo chamber and really understand the full set of diverse perspectives that are available in the audience and indeed in the community. So that's pretty much it. And then obviously at the end of the event, you'd press end event to close it out. Once you press end event, I should mention when you press start event, that navigates the participants from the pre-event page into the event. And then at the close event, when you press end event, that navigates them to what we call the post-event page so that they can read a little bit about the event that happened. Okay, so that's the end of this video. And the next video that you should watch is the video where I explain how the audience members can make use of the tools that we provide them in the participant view in order to share their perspectives in real time during a meeting. Thanks so much, and see you in the next explainer video.